Welcome you into the Patrick Netherton Show, 11:30 The Tiger. He's Rogers, I'm Patrick. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. And we are pleased to welcome in a guy that has put together a heck of a festival down in Georgetown. Coming up on June the 4th, it is the Troubadour Festival. We mentioned going in 43 of the best barbecue restaurants in the state of Texas, and you know how we love that. You add in a bunch of terrific bands, even though it's not really my country music's not necessarily my milieu, but hey, if you're into barbecue, you need to show up. If you're into good music, you need to show up. Or if you're into both of them, you're going to be in hog heaven. He is Chase Colston. Chase, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, Patrick, how are you, dude?
I'm doing great. I don't know if you remember. You probably don't, and that's fine. You and I actually met in Tyler at the Texas
Monthly
the Texas Monthly stop. I was hanging out with Stephen Joseph from Riverport and Brian Wright from Right On and those
you were
guys.
A sign guy.
I was the sign guy. I was the one that took your picture holding up the giant sign with
you
him.
Did a great job. Man.
Well, thank you. I do my best. I'm probably better as a billboard than anything else. Let's be perfectly honest. Hey, let's back up a little bit here because I know Troubadour Festival hasn't been around for that long. Kind of take me through the genesis of this. Why did you want to start it? How did you get it started? And kind of how did you go about in the early going getting people to want to be involved with it?
Yeah, well, the origin story starts probably about 10 years ago. I used to work for a radio group in Tyler that also owns the station in which we're talking on right now.
Beautiful.
And I worked for them and had always been a big fan of Texas barbecue and as always a frequenter to Stanley's Famous Pit Barbecue here in Tyler where I live now. And,
sure.
It was a big part of what I like. I like to travel, I like to eat it, and my boss at the time was a big barbecue fan. That's how we, bonded over a lot of things. And one day I went to him and I said, I'm a really big fan of the Texas Monthly Barbecue Festival down in Austin, where they bring in all these restaurants and they sample and things like that. And I said, let's take this concept. We own radio stations. One of them is, the biggest country station in East Texas, which is 101.5 KNUE, and we had and they still do have a Texas country show with Buddy Logan that's broadcast all over the state now. And I said, we have this radio station that, we love country music. We love Texas country, red dirt music. I said, let's kind of shove these two together and create an event. And I wasn't hired to do events. I was, doing marketing and digital content, things like that. He said, man, that's a great idea. So we took it to our bosses, our big bosses back in the day, and presented them the idea, and they said no.
Of course.
So, asked a couple more times as time went on. The answer was always no. And then about middle of 2013, we pressed hard one more time, and I said, give us one chance at this. And they said, all right, you're annoying us enough pretty much, so let's give it a shot. So that's where the Red Dirt Barbecue Music Festival in Tyler was created.
Mm-hmm.
That I did that, all those years ago. We had our first one in 2014. And then I did 6 of those until a pandemic came along, and that led to a furlough, which led to unemployment, which, led to, being on my own and trying to figure out where life was going to take me next. And, interviews and job applications don't really exist for event planners in the middle of a pandemic. So
right.
It was, tough going. And throughout the course of all of this, my best friend of more than 30 years who lives in the Dallas area, and we grew up in Bullard, Texas together. We had started having some conversations as, things started to happen and, the job became a thing of the past. And, we said, let's take this concept that we created and let's just do it ourselves. And that's where Troubadour Festival was born. We started our company a year ago this month, and we moved fast, and we were able to put on our first one in Celina, Texas last November. Had a great time. We had more than 40 restaurants there. Great show with Pat Green and Josh Abbott and a bunch of others, and sold out. We had about 8,000 people out there, and throughout this course, we had wanted to take this concept to different parts of the state. We called the festival Troubadour Festival because as an homage to the troubadours of the old days, which were traveling songwriters and poets in
Right.
Western Europe, hundreds of years ago. We said we want to take, we want this to be a traveling music festival. We want to take this to different parts of the state. So naturally, Central Texas was a part of that. So the birthplace of Texas barbecue. So that took us to Georgetown, and we do that in about 10 days, and then in September we're going to come back home to Tyler for my first show at home in more than 3 years, which we're really excited about in September, and then we'll be back in Celina in October. So more than 40 restaurants at each stop, big bands on the stage, and a full day of smoked meats and good tunes.
All right, let's talk about just from a complete fan's perspective. I want to show up. I want to attend. What are the particulars? What is it going to cost? What am I going to get? Kind of just walk us through what we get for showing up at the festival.
Yeah. So we have three different ticket levels, two pertaining to barbecue. So we sell a Troubadour VIP ticket and then a Troubadour barbecue music ticket. The barbecue music ticket, you walk in and you have unlimited samples from as many barbecue restaurants as you can possibly consume in one place. So it's all included. If you can try to take down 40 restaurants, then by all means. If you only want to eat a few, that's great. And then the concert's also included in that. We do that for $125. But you're experiencing the biggest barbecue festival of its kind, really, in the state of Texas.
Sure.
As far as the number of barbecue restaurants that we have participating, and the VIP ticket is that, but we also VIPs get in an hour sooner, so they get in at noon as opposed to 1 o'clock. So you have an hour, much smaller crowd for an hour to get to as many restaurants as you can and not have to wait in so many lines and things like that. And then you also get, we get a special VIP T-shirt. Your first 2 drinks are on us. Private VIP area, real bathrooms, front of stage access, things like that. It's just an all-around kind of, really special VIP experience that we do for $225. And if you just want to come watch the show, we get those people in at 4 o'clock, and then we have a 5-act show on the main stage that goes until about midnight, and it's $60. And that's the price that's going to be on all 3 of our shows this year, and most likely for the foreseeable future.
Very nice, very nice. Talking to Chase Colston, who
all began. So we're especially excited about that. But on July 1st, we are having a lineup reveal party at Stanley's Barbecue in Tyler.
Okay.
So Chris Colston, who is actually my cousin, is going to play, and we're going to pack Stanley's out and eat some barbecue, and we're going to play a video and tell Tyler who's coming to play their show in September. Very
nice, very nice. So I'm curious, what kind of a reception are you getting this year? First year you go in, you mentioned you sell it out, 8,000 people. I've got to imagine maybe that makes it a little easier for you to get in front of some people for year 2, or has it been kind of open and ready to go from year 1?
Man, I said even in Celina last year and going into this year that if we had space, we could put 60 barbecue restaurants at these events. There's so many great barbecue joints in Texas now, and I've gotten to know so many of them, and it hurts not being able to put everybody I possibly can out there, with space limitations and things like that. It just not as feasible. One thing that we do try to focus on for each one of these is trying to give a little bit more focus on the region in which we're going to. So in Georgetown, we had, out of our 43 restaurants, about half are from the Central Texas area.
Right.
When we do Tyler, we're really going to try to bring in some East Texas joints as well. So,
sure.
Not only Stanley's, but, Riverport and Jefferson, right on, and Harleton, Sunbird and Longview, places like that, and Brisket, Love, and Lindale. So, we really want to try to get a little focus on the area in which we are and really put those local joints in front of some people. And then in Celina, have a lot of DFW restaurants.
Sure, makes perfect sense. What about the bands? You mentioned you had Josh Abbott there, the kind of the headliner for the show down there in Georgetown, and you mentioned having them last year. What is that simply like a musical negotiation like you would for any concert that you'd have anywhere, or is it different because this is a barbecue festival mixed in with a music show, or is it just kind of a standard, hey, this is what we do if we were putting them in an arena in Dallas kind of thing?
Yeah, it's basically like that. We have a lot of relationships with a lot of artists and their managements and agencies and things like that. And it kind of, the pieces fall in different ways, just depending on if they're booked already or if they haven't played in the area in a while. It just kind of goes with that. So it's booking a festival is a little bit different than an arena, but it's kind of the same concept. We just when we were booking Georgetown, we had a unique opportunity because we were able to book Josh Abbott, Flatland Cavalry, William Clark Green, and John Bauman, who were all outstanding on their own, but they all also are in a kind of a super group they call the Panhandlers.
Okay.
So they have a band together so that they're going to be able to play together as the Panhandlers during the show. And they got some good notoriety recently. One of their songs was featured in Yellowstone, which was huge for them. So
Sure.
having them on one stage and being able to all play together at the end of the night is going to be really, really special. And then, Tyler and Celina, the lineups will be different, but, we think, equally as great, and we're excited to, showcase even more music to those places.
We had a text from one of our texters saying, I want 2 tickets and our kids under 12 the same price. And I will tell you, Draco, if you go to the Troubadour Festival homepage, you can find out that it is 11 and under, I should say. 10 and under are free. 11 and older will require tickets for the show. So for you, take me to maybe the couple of days out and then the day of. Are you just constant motion, dealing with things, putting out fires, or can you actually relax a little bit and enjoy what you've put together?
It's a little bit of both. The craziest day for me is the day before, because, when you're loading in, 40 barbecue restaurants, and at basically one time it can get a little stressful and your phone's constantly ringing and things like that. Once the day starts on Saturday, there are fires that come up that you have to put out, but we really, we have a great team. We have a lot of great people who work with us on these shows that take a lot of that burden off, which, gives us the opportunity to kind of enjoy things a little bit. So, really after, once the barbecue's, kind of done and everybody's kind of enjoying the day and the music starts, that's where we get to, it gives me time to walk around and talk to people and have a beer and, thank them for coming and spend some time with the barbecue restaurants and the artists. And, so we get a little bit of time on Saturday night to enjoy ourselves, but that's all thanks to the great people that we have working with us.
All right. And for folks who show up, obviously it's a little different because it's not hey, I'm going to a restaurant and ordering a pound of brisket and a half a rack of ribs or whatever. Give us some indication of what these guys are cooking. Maybe some of the items that they cooked last year that you kind of stick in your memory.
Yeah, it varies, and we're in a time where meat costs are pretty through the roof.
Yeah.
But what that allows is for our restaurants to really be creative. So they may not necessarily just bring out brisket or bring out ribs, and some do. But we have some that are that have done some kind of different takes on sausage. We had a restaurant, Brett's Barbecue Shop out of Katy last year in Celina. They did brisket lasagna. That was a huge hit.
Oh.
We've had places that do they, in addition to some meat stuff they've done smoked barbecue cookies, all sorts of, different takes on barbecue to really, because, they're not just doing the same thing over and over again like they are in the restaurant where they're doing so many briskets or so many racks of ribs and sausage every day that, this gives them a chance to say, okay, let's try something a little freaky. And, we had Brotherton's Black Iron Barbecue out of Pflugerville in Celina last year. I think they did it was like a maple pecan pie sausage that Bill Dumas did for them. That was pretty cool. We had one that did smoked turkey and dressing because it was in November.
Right.
That was Slaughter's Barbecue in Celina. So it's a lot of different takes, and at the same time, you have the ones that are going to just bring out nothing but ribs or brisket, and you go from there.
Yeah.
we have one place that's cooking in Georgetown. They're doing smash burgers, and so it's it's a lot of really cool, inventive things that we really look forward to.
That's fantastic. So 3 different stops: Georgetown, June the 4th. Then in Tyler, downtown Tyler, September the 10th, and Celina, October the 15th. The June 4th is the Georgetown Festival. Josh Abbott Band, Flatland Cavalry, William Clark Green, John Bowman. Going to be a heck of a lot of fun. 43 of the best barbecue joints in the state of Texas, including our friends Brian Bingham and Sunbird, who will be down there. Go check it out. If you don't check it out in Georgetown, go check it out in Tyler. I have a feeling that you might see me in Tyler. I get the distinct impression that could happen. Look, Chase, this is such a great event. I'm so happy that you were able to get this put together for the second year and get such a stellar group of people in there, both on the barbecue and music side. And, man, we are looking forward to it, and best of luck.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Patrick. I appreciate it.
All right. That's Chase Colston, the founder of Troubadour Festival.